In the last class, we have discussed about the confidence interval of population mean using T statistic and Z statistic. We have also discussed the cases that when are we going to use the T statistic and when we should be going with the Z statistic to derive the confidence interval. So, in this class, I am going to discuss some practical real life example using T statistic, and I will also try to corroborate the result with the R programming. Okay, so that you get a hold of the things in a theoretical as well as in a practical perspective. Okay, so let us start with the example. Calculate a 95% confidence interval for the average height of 10-year-old children, assuming that heights have a normal distribution where mu and sigma are unknown based on a random sample of 5 children whose heights are given here. Okay, so before coming to the steps of the example, let us draw out the structure of the steps which we are going to follow in solving this example. Here, first we have to identify the distribution. That is, what is the population distribution? What is the population distribution? Okay. Then we have to identify the pivotal quantity. Okay. So pivotal quantity can be identified using the data given in the example. Okay. Whether we know sigma square or we know or we don't know sigma square, that is the population variance. Okay, so depending upon the population distribution and pivotal quantity, we would use the formula to calculate the confidence interval. Okay. So as you recall the T distribution, in the last class we have discussed that we are going to use the T distribution if our example falls in either of case A or in case B. Okay, so let us just recall the T distribution. In case A, we would use T distribution if the population distribution is normal. Okay, if the population variance, that is sigma square, is unknown, and that is irrespective of sample size, that is whether it is large or small. So if the given data falls under this category, then we would denote it as case A and we would use the T distribution. Okay. Similarly, let us come to the case B. If the population distribution is not normal and we don't know the population variance, but if the sample size is large, so then also our T statistic would become valid in deriving the confidence interval. Okay. So now depending upon the case A and B, let us try to see, depending upon the data given in the question, that our data falls in which of the case. So we have population distribution as normal. That is given in the question, that population distribution is normal. Okay. Now sigma square, that is population variance, is not known. Not known. So our example falls under case A. As you can see, in case A, the population distribution is normal and we have unknown population variance. Okay. So now let us write down the pivotal quantity, that is x bar minus mu divided by standard deviation of the sample divided by root over n. It has T n minus 1 distribution. What is our x bar? X bar is 124 plus 122 plus 130 plus 125 plus 132 divided by 5. this would come out to be 126.6. Okay. What is n? N is equal to 5. And how would we derive our sample variance? You know the formula. Sample variance is summation of x square minus summation of x whole square divided by number of sample divided by n minus 1. Okay. So if you solve this, this would come out to be 17.8. I am just writing down. I am not solving it. As you can see that you can solve. Okay, you just need to put the quantity x square means 124 square plus 122 square plus 130 square, and like this. Okay, so when you solve this, it would come out to be 17.8. Okay, so now putting the values in the given equation, that is equation 1, 126.6 minus mu divided by 17.8 divided by root over 5 is distributed as t 5 minus 1. Okay, so before coming to the t table, let us discuss about the confidence interval. We have been given that confidence interval is 95%. Okay, so we know that the t distribution is symmetrical in nature. That is, let us consider it this as t distribution. Okay, and we need to find the 95% confidence interval for the mean. Okay, so if we want the confidence interval to be symmetrical, then this area must be 2.5% of total area. Okay, so this would be t 0.025 comma 4, where 4 is the degree of freedom, and like this would also be 2.5%. Okay, so if this is x, then this would be minus x, as the t distribution is symmetrical in nature. Okay, so let us calculate this t distribution from the table. So now you can see the t table. Here we have to find out the value of t 0.025 against 4 degree of freedom. Okay, so here we can see that this is the degree of freedom, so this would be 4 degree of freedom, and against this t 0.025 is 2.776. Okay, so this is the value of t 0.025 comma 4. Okay, so from t table we have seen that t 0.025 comma 4 is 2.776. Okay, so what is our 95% confidence interval? It would be here it is t 0.025 comma 4 is 2.776. Here it's minus 2.776. Okay, so this would be 2.5%, this would be 2.5%, and this would be 95%. This would be 95%. Okay, so this is the range of our confidence interval. Okay, so putting this value in the given equation, we would get 126.6 minus mu divided by 17.8 divided by under root 5 is less than 2.776, and it would be greater than minus 2.776. Okay, so this is the okay. So from here mu is less than 131.8 and it is greater than 121.4. So this is the confidence interval for the average height of 10-year-old children. Okay, so now we are going to see whether we would be able to get the same result with R programming. Okay, so let us put my sample data as 4, 122 centimeter, 130 centimeter, 125 centimeter and 132 centimeter. Okay, so this is my sample data. Okay, and in order to calculate the confidence interval, I would be using the function t-test sample data. Okay, so by default also confidence interval is set to 0.95, but for the sake of understanding I am writing confidence interval is 0.95. Okay. So now here you got the results of the one sample t-test. Okay, here degree of freedom is 4, p-value we have got as this. We are going to use in the hypothesis testing that we are going to see in the later classes. Okay, so now your confidence interval is approximately same as what we have arrived theoretically, that is 1 to 121.36 to 131.83. So we have seen that the confidence interval of R programming comes same as the theoretical confidence interval derivation. In the next class, we will be solving some more examples of confidence intervals. We will be using confidence interval to solve the examples of binomial and Poisson distribution. Till then, keep enjoying, keep watching YJ Data Science.